So today we're talking about solving non-linear systems of equations. Today we're going to do it algebraically, and we're going to use two methods. One's called substitution, the other's called elimination. And then tomorrow we're going to do it graphically, so by graphing it. We've learned solving systems of equations before with linear equations back in Algebra 1. Does anyone remember what the substitution method was? Yeah?
Is that when you take something or replace, like take a value and replace it with a certain number?
So the substitution method here is I'm going to replace one of my variables, x or y, with the other equation. So to do that, I need to get one of my variables alone. I don't have green on the desk. So what we want to do is we want to isolate one of our variables so we can plug it into the other equation. Okay, so looking at these two equations, which equation looks easier to get a letter by itself, top or bottom? Okay. So the bottom one, what letter do you want to get alone, x or y? It doesn't matter, it's just your preference. Which one do you want to get alone? Y, okay, so then I need to subtract x on both sides. I get y equals 4 minus x. So substitution means replace. So I'm going to take I'm going to take the other side of the equation, and I'm going to plug that in for the y up on the top equation. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite my top equation. I had x squared plus x. Minus was part of the equation. The piece I circled in red, I'm going to put in parentheses and plug in. Okay, so for here, I want to solve for x. Okay, so what's my first step I want to do? Okay, distribute this negative in. So I have x squared plus x. Negative times 4 is negative 4. Negative times negative x gives me positive x equals negative 1. Okay, then what? Okay. So, actually that's not the one I want to move. So I want to start off because I can combine like terms. So, I'm going to combine like terms. Then I have x squared plus 2x minus 4 equals negative 1. I don't want to move the 4. I want to move the other one. Because then I can factor it if I move the other one. Yeah, I want to move the 1. So then I have x squared plus 2x minus 3 equals 0. Because I moved the 1. Okay, then what? What multiplies to negative 3 and adds to positive 2? Negative 1 is right. Positive 3. So then I have x minus 1 equals 0, and x plus 3 equals 0. You don't like this? I'm sorry.
I don't like this, the part where you put it in the parentheses.
Oh, yeah, the factoring. Pen will work. Okay, am I done once I find my x values?
No.
Why not? I have to plug it in and find my y. Okay. Which equation do you want me to plug in, though? Top or bottom? You don't want me to do the top one? Just for fun. Okay, so then I have x plus... No, that was x. So I have 1 plus y equals 4. How do I solve this one? Subtract the 1. I get y equals 3. So what I want to do is I want to write my answer as a coordinate pair. And it always goes in alphabetical order. So I'm going to have 1, 3 as one of my answers. And then I want to do the same thing for the negative 3 answer I had. So I'm going to plug that in, the negative 3. And I want to solve for y there. So, yeah. So then my other answer here is negative 3, 7. So I have two answers here. so I did a poor job of explaining what was going on here. What I have is, I'm going to cover some stuff up really quick. I have a quadratic equation, okay? Then I have a line that crosses it, and I'm looking for where they crossed. So I'm looking for those 2 points right there. That's what these points are right here. Does that make sense? Okay? So there's other situations. This one worked out where I had 2 crossing. I can have it where it just touches, and I have 1 crossing. So I could have 1 answer. Or I could have a situation where it looks like that, and it doesn't cross at all. So I can either have 2 answers, 1 answer, or no answer. Okay, number 2, white is already solved for me. So what do I want to start off by doing? Solve for x, but I have to plug in for the y. So I have x squared plus, in parentheses, negative 3x plus 10 squared equals 10. Okay, so the x squared is staying the same. It's not changing. But this piece, I have to square it out. I'm going to do my work on a sticky note. So I have negative 3x plus 10 times negative 3x plus 10. That's what the squared means. I have 2 of those. Okay. So I'd want a FOIL. So I have negative 3x times negative 3x. 9x. I have 3x times 10, negative 3x times 10.
Negative 3.
And then I have 10 times negative 3x. And then I have 10 times 10. 100. And then I want to do what? Yeah, combine like terms. So then I have 9x squared minus 60x plus 100. Okay, now I'm going to go write that on the paper. Okay, what do I want to do next? Okay. So I have 10x squared minus 60x plus 100 equals 10. Okay, subtract the 10. Okay, what can I do? Do I want to use the quadratic formula like we learned yesterday? I was wondering, do you want me to do that? Or is there another way you see? Or something special about the equation that you notice? Yeah, what number? 10. So everything gets divided by 10. So I have x squared minus 6x plus 9 equals 0. What multiplies to positive 9 and adds up to negative 6? Negative 3 and negative 3. So I can just write x minus 3 squared equals 0. Because there's 2 negative 3's. Yeah. Okay, what do I want to do next? Since they're the same, I only have to set 1. Yeah. Okay, and then I just add 3. So I get x equals 3. Am I done? No. What do I want to do? Which equation, top or bottom? Okay. Negative 3 times 3 is? Negative 9 plus 10. 1. So my answer here is 3, 1. And I only have one answer because when I went to solve for x, I only got 1x. Okay, it's not the last method, but the last method for today is elimination. So it's where I add the two equations together and one of the letters cancels out. Okay. So if I look at this one, my y's are already opposite signs. So if I add these two equations, they're going to cancel out. So I want to add straight down. Straight down. So I have 2x squared plus x squared. Then I have negative 5x plus 2x. Negative 3x. Negative y plus y. Cancels out, so I'm not even going to write that. Negative 2 plus 0. Okay. Then what do I want to do? I add 2 to both sides. So I get 3x squared minus 3x plus 2 equals 0. Okay, this one I do have to use the quadratic formula, unless you know how to factor this one. Do you guys know how to factor this one? Okay, we'll use the quadratic formula. So my A, B, and C are what? Okay. Then I want to plug in to the quadratic formula. Negative, negative 3 plus or minus the square root of b squared, so negative 3 squared. Times my a value, so 3. And my c value, 2. 2 times 3. Okay, then I want to do what? So, simplify. Negative, negative 3 gives me negative 3 squared gives me negative 4 times 3 times 2. Two times 3? Okay, 9 minus 24 is negative 15. If I solve this, am I going to get a real answer? No. So my answer here is going to be no solution. So, any questions on either method, substitution or elimination?